We should be live. If I did that right, we should be live streaming. We should be right. So I'm just testing audio real quick and we're going to get into it. Today we're going to demonstrate a lot of our melodies. So instead of me telling you the theory and the step-by-step, we're going to actually apply all these techniques and I'll break down. Right. So I'm just testing audio real quick. We're going to get into it. Today we're going to demonstrate a lot of our... We should be... Make sure y'all can hear the keys. Real quick. Just testing. Okay, y'all can hear the keys. Cool. All right, we got Nathan Scott in here. What up? So again, today's going to be demonstration day about all the melody stuff I've been teaching you guys. Because again, people think I just teach and I don't do. And the problem is they don't understand complex things start with simple building blocks. So I'm teaching you the simple building blocks to melody so that by the time you want to apply this stuff, you can get to this type of level of sound. I'm not saying I'm the greatest melody maker in the world. I'm just saying that, you know, when I am doing stuff fast and like stuff like this. People are asking me what I'm doing and it's like I went over these concepts. So that's what I mean by when we apply the stuff today, you guys will see how to apply all the stuff we covered in the last four-part melody mastery live stream. Just want to thank you guys before I get started. Nathan Scott is, oh, you know what? You can't see the chat. My fault. Chat. Hold up. You guys can't even see your own chats. My fault. Let me do that. There you go. We got Nathan Scott in here. We got Chin Hao Lu. Welcome, Chin Hao. Dorson is here. Kanto is here. Rap LCC, if I'm saying that right. Q the Saint, what up? Concrete Religion, what up? Yeah, definitely Tyler vibes. And it all comes down to the half step. Now, I showed you guys half steps and melodies, but I showed you like a baby example so that it didn't get too complicated. But in reality, that's the type of sound you guys can create. Like, this is called a raised third. And then we're flattening the tonic in the fifth. So you can do cool stuff like that. All right, let's get straight into it. We don't have time to waste. Just wanted to show you guys we're going to be applying this stuff today. So again, it's really going to be like seeing me apply all this stuff. And then I'll show you guys how I like morph melodies over time. Now I'm recording from a Korg Kronos keyboard into my Universal Audio Apollo 8. And that's going into FL Studio. So this is not a MIDI controller. This is not a plugin. It's a whole keyboard. Has a whole different sound. Unknown is here. Live from the kitchen podcast. Welcome. Another Beats is here. Arthur is here. Boogie's here. Hey, busy. I can't play any instruments. Is it still possible to make music? For sure. You can click in note to get started. Doozy is here. What up? So firstly, I'm going to get a vibe. Like, what is the vibe we're going for? So in the chat, let me know what kind of vibe. And then we'll start there. We going dark? We going happy? Are we going soul? Now, soul, I'm not like a soul master. So, I mean, when you guys say soul, I can give you some stuff, but it's not going to be like the golden keys to soul. We could do, what else? Dark, happy, soul. We could do like more of the Ken Carson, Osama Sun, you know, like the young kid sound. We could do, what else is there? Playboy Cardi. We could do Yeet. We could do Metro. Shout out to Metro. We could do, now I do have a guitar, but I'm not good at playing it, so that's the only thing. Rock, of course, guitar. So we could do guitar, but it won't be me playing my guitar though. I'll be playing a keyboard. So far we have dark, rock, happy, Kendrick reflecting on his YouTube, reggae, So let's do dark first, then we'll move into more of a happy sound. Okay, so dark comes down to a minor chord, Nujabes, so you really want to stretch my skills. I'm not a masterful jazz piano player like that. But dark comes down to what's called a minor chord. It's a minor chord here. This is D minor specifically. And then what we do is flatten the third of the minor chord to make a suspended second. That's a half step change. And that's why it sounds haunted or dark. So what I like to do in the beginning is start with the root note. All right, so let's go to like 140 BPM and let's record the, hold on y'all, I gotta switch this. There we go. All right, so we're gonna record my keyboard and we're gonna do it at 140. You guys will get all the project files so you can mix and master this yourself to mess with the audio. You got some guitars? Sick. Oh yeah, we have Discord. I could probably, I mean, I guess that'd be doing all the work though. So anyhow, we're gonna start with the bass notes. So let's record this and I'm gonna play D in really low octaves. And then we're gonna do that half step, okay? So let's record this. So I'll let it ring out that last bar because where did the recording go? Did it record? Tell me it did not. Just, y'all saw me hit record, right? Where'd it go? Yes, here it is. I don't know why it didn't show up in my playlist. That's super crazy. All right, FL stinks. FL got me almost heated for a second. Okay, we are going to look at the waveform. So firstly, I don't mess with the audio. I don't like to record into effects until I'm like done, and then I like changing out the source sound. Pump Passion is here, what up? Michael Chirwa is here, Kanto is here, Unknown is here, what up? Nathan, Slippy is here, or Sloppy. So now we have that is, so there's 4 layers to melody. I'll type this in the chat. We have the top line, we have what's called a contrast layer, we have a harmony layer, and then we have our rhythm. Now those can combine in any fashion. So far we have a contrast layer, so let me rename this. To me, contrast is usually lower frequencies, but it doesn't always mean bass. Contrast can just mean something moving fast, another thing moving slow. What up, DB3? So we have one of the layers, we'll call this contrast. All right, so that's the contrast layer. So now I can either stack harmony, or I could get to my top line, or I could do a rhythm section. So from this point, we're gonna do harmony. You don't always need chords in your tracks, so this is not a mandatory step. Harmony to me is 2 notes or more. So I know people define chords as 3 notes or more, but for me, harmony is 2 notes or more. Okay, if you look up the etymology of a chord, but I don't want to go into the music theory and ease. So let's record. So if D was the root note, we could do things like play D minor as the harmony. We could play the major 7th chord starting at F. That would make that a minor 9th chord because D would play the bass, and then I would play the middle frequencies. So I think about melodies in like frequencies. My low frequency in this case is contrast. My middle frequencies are going to be the chords. What up, Q? Darius is here. So instead of playing D minor 9th like this, I'm going to omit D to play FAC, and the bass will already be playing. Here's what it sounds like. Now that's a very lush chord. So we could play it that way. Now that's more a jazzy approach, more of like a dark soul type vibe. We could go with that kind of vibe. So I might, because I'm thinking like Jay-Z, American Gangster type sound. So let's do that. Now, I was doing harmony and rhythm in that take. So I was doing more than just playing the chord, I was playing rhythm with that. So that we have 2 layers combined. So let's try it. If it gets messy, I'll just take it out. At the end, my brain wants to do a different chord instead of just doing the same chord at the end to tell people, hey, we're wrapping up this type of section. So instead of the ending, I might change it up. Like, let me see. I just got to figure out what chord type would go over the top. So we could do a diminished chord, for example. So starting at D, it's every other 3 notes. So this is D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can play something like this. Let's see if that works. For my ear, it doesn't match this vibe. I'm trying to think though. If we went D minor, we could go. You know, we could do. Thing would be I would have to change this a half step down. Never mind. Let's just leave it as is for now. We're not going to get too complicated. So now we need like ambient atmospheric sounds, in my opinion. So we're going for the Marvin Gaye type soulful dark. So it's not necessarily demon dark, okay, but it's dark. Okay, so let's go to programs here. We need some kind of either guitar, some atmospheric guitar, or some kind of lead that's going to go in the background to make this more reverby. Let's pull up a guitar. So I'm going to go through some sounds as I listen through. Sound here. So I'm just playing the chord backwards. So instead of playing D minor, D F A, I'm playing it A F D. So I'm playing it backwards. Let's record this. Just holding those notes. Let's record. See how the melody started before the downbeat? Okay, now if we have Marvin Gaye here to sing, he'd be over top. So the key there is that I'm starting the melody. It was dun, dun, dun. It was bum, bum, bum. So I started the melody before the downbeat. A lot of us try to start the melody at the downbeat, which is 1, 2, like that. But sometimes the melody starts it before the clock. So it's dun, 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 and then we lead into the melody. So some people leave an extra bar in the front for their melodies. I'm just going to record audio into FL. Now, one thing we have is clipping. So let's turn these down. So now we still need some kind of like background sound. And here's where we're going to fill it out with a string, a high pitched string. What up, Neil? So here's the soul thing, is just hold the note. We're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna do a lead string and then one that just holds a note. So I'm just gonna hold a high pitched string note, which is the root note. Might be a little loud. Actually, let me not record that loud. That's pretty loud. That way we're not blowing out your ears here. Let's do this again. could also use your pitch wheel here to bend. We're just gonna hold this note. So we're not changing the note at all, just holding this note, which is the root note. This will help the ear understand which key we're in. All right, so I know that was tedious, but that's what they did back in the day to kind of keep the ear latched on to one specific root note. And again, you guys will get all these project files for free. So if I ever go too fast, no worries. You guys will get the project file for free. Shout out to everybody who's here. All right, now let's take this up a little bit. We still need some kind of atmospheric sound, like. I'm gonna add these little filler do 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 do. Okay, I'm just playing the root note, the fifth, and the octave. So fifths are super important. Playing root notes here, an octave, and then we're playing a fifth, and then a half step, and then back down. So I taught you guys fifths before. All right, so I would consider that a counter melody because it's not the main thing. It's just something that's bouncing off of the main thing. It's like a call and response type sound. Now that's a short sound called staccato. If we were going for more of a lead sound, we would have more of a sustained sound like this. And I would hold the notes. So that was more of a short sound. So that's what I was robbery. We need some kind of impact sound here. So we're gonna start turning some of the stuff down here. We don't really need more hits than that. Oh. Alright, so now we're just leveling out, I think. Let me do something here. Let's turn this down. Okay, so in my opinion, we need like a real guitar player to come in and like add that extra little guitar chord backing, but sound. That must have been an accident. Let's do this again. What up, everybody in the chat? It's hard to read everybody, but what's up to y'all? I'm just showing you guys today we're applying all the techniques we talked about. Right now we're layering the melody. So let me quickly explain what the heck I'm doing. We have a contrast layer. We have a rhythm / harmony layer. There's 4 layers to melody. So it's rhythm, contrast, harmony. And then we did here, this is more of a backing. I would really consider this harmony because we're playing a chord, but backwards. So it's a harmony. This is more of a top line, but it's not moving. Okay, so it's top line, contrast layer, harmony, and rhythm. So we've covered the 4 sectors. Now we're trying to fit new sounds into those boxes. So that's what we're doing with these extra sounds here. Like, to me, this is more of a rhythm than it is the notes. And then here, I would call that a contrast. All right, so hopefully you guys are understanding the concept of, let's group these together here. Let's do this. So it's contrast, harmony layer, rhythm, and then top line. So we have all the categories. Now we're trying to add that final vibe, I'll say. So to me, we need some kind of performing pitch bendy thing, whether that's a vocal or drums. Let me add like a little placeholder drums in here, just to give you guys an idea of what I'm hearing in my head. Do I have drums on this computer? Hopefully. Let's do a do drums. What BPM we at? 140. So we're technically at 70. Let's see if this will work. Drag that in. Shout out to Drew from Ado Sounds. He has dope stuff. Drums are a little active. Let me see if I can find some less active drums. This is more like Marvin Gaye type. So let's drag it in. We're gonna double click on this drum, go to mode, stretch mode, turn your time knob to lock it into the BPM like this. So now we can build around that drum. Even though we didn't build the melody for this drum break, now we can use that to understand how much frequency is taken up by the drums. We still need a bass technically. So now I'm not the greatest bass player. That's the only thing here. So we're gonna use my keyboard for bass. We definitely need bass and then some kind of performing expressive sound. Let's do something like that. I don't have time to go through 1,000 basses. Keep doing that. So I'm just playing the D minor chord and using that half step at the 5th to create that little movement. We're doing octave Ds. I was just, again, I covered this in the other melody videos. There's like 4, if you don't know which notes to play, let me just kind of break it down. You can play the tonic, which is the root note. You can play the perfect 4th, the perfect 5th. And what you can do from those points is play the sharp 5th. You can play the sharp perfect 4th. And then you can also play the super tonic, it's called, or 1/2 step up from the tonic. And then you can play 1 note below the tonic. So those are all my kind of go-to notes when I'm freestyling like that. So let's hear what it sounds like. So that like wah guitar sound on the bass is gonna add some expression. So that's part of the expressive sound. So now I'm using a bass sound, but as a lead, and we're going to use it as the expressive synth. So now we're just adding like, we're adding the expressive tonality. So the bass line had part, why does it keep doing that? I don't understand. Nothing's even playing right now. It's so weird. Let me move this to a different track. That's why. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But okay, so once you have your 4 layers, now we're thinking about how do we express an emotion. So the bass has a wah wah. That's an expression because something's moving in the sound. It's a filter movement, so it creates a wah sound, like wah wah, like that. So that's a part of the expression. So if you ever get stuck in your melodies and you're like, what's the next level? Sometimes you need to add more expression. Some people call these accents, okay? But to me, I call it expression, okay? Shout out to everybody who's here. If you could smash that like button and get this party rocking. So again, we in the past 3 episodes of this How to Make Melodies, I went over the techniques and the music theory and all the little minute details. In this video, I'm showing you guys how to apply all of this stuff to stack it up to a full melody. So right now we're going dark kind of soul, in my opinion. So we still need a dark thing, so I'm going to find the one last sound and then we're going to move to the next melody. Still trying to figure out what the heck this, what is playing automatically. We have like a ghost piano playing and I'm trying to figure out where the heck it is. Like, what could it even be? Is it on loop maybe? Oh, you know, I don't know why that doesn't stop. It's so weird. So now we're going to play an accented brass. I had to mute what's his name. I appreciate Rush's energy, but I had to mute you because other people are getting annoyed probably. So here's So we're gonna add that as a final touch towards the end. So this is what I mean by expression. It's a little things to make your melody pop out a little bit more and make it less stagnant and boring. So little stuff like that. Again, some people call these accents. To me, when you switch the word accent for expression, you know, it's kind of like you could have a sentence like I came home today, or you could express it like I came home today, and you could add an emotion to it. That's what I mean by expression. You could say words technically, you could play the right notes, but you're not expressing the notes. So I want to add some French horn in here. Some of these rhythms are clashing though, so I gotta figure out what's clashing. Take out some of the chord activity. Now it's a little darker. Something is throwing off this thing. It's like playing by itself, and I have no. Oh, you know what it is? It's when I couldn't find that audio in the beginning. That's what happened. So I need to figure out where it is. We have a ghost audio somewhere. It's just like playing. Oh, it might be in the sequencer. That's probably what happened. Oh, okay, that's what it is. I found it. All right, that was throwing off the rhythm. Thank you, Dunk or Dank Cash. Okay, so we had a ghost pattern playing the whole time. So let's arrange this. So now we can understand that we have those 4 layers of melody. Now we can start moving stuff around to create space. So if I have too many rhythms going on, I'll move one of the rhythms over here, and then I'll keep the other rhythm on the left side. So we keep both rhythms or just separate it. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Crescendo brass like that. I need to find something like that. here's a lesson. All right, Rush, you are doing too much. Sorry, dog. You gotta go on timeout for 24 hours now. You're locked up. Locked up. They won't let Rush out. They won't let Rush out. You locked up. What I'm doing here, so as you heard, when I played that synthesizer sound, it didn't fit with this vibe. This vibe is very low frequency, organic tones. If I were to add that super bright synth out of nowhere, it would have taken us out of this organic Marvin Gaye type sound into this like club sound. And this is where sound selection comes into play, is to understand that the majority of your melodies are either going to be organic sounding or synthetic sounding. So you want to pick a path most of the time. Like if you're going Ken Carson and Osama Sun and all them, chances are you're going to go with the synthetic sound. You're not going to go organic for their type of vibe. Now for Marvin Gaye, you're not going to go synthetic sounds unless it has an organic feel. And what I mean by organic feel is we don't have a ton of harmonic content in the sound. At what point do we stop adding stuff? Good question. I mean, I feel like it's still missing something. So it's either the vocal that we're missing or some kind of filler sound. And I think it's a pad sound. So instead of doing the, you know, dun, 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 pad, we're just gonna do a sustain pad. Just gonna hold this. We could do change ups, like a tritone substitution right here. I think we're just gonna hold that chord. Change the chord. Now most of us, we want to change and do 1,000 things. Sometimes we just need to play one chord or two chords max. Let's turn that down though, it's a little loud. I'm going to take that whatever that sound. Take that out for a second. Also, the guitar's a little. Let's take that out. Now we gotta figure out what key we're in. I think it's D minor, but let's double check. That's what Marvin Gaye sounds like. We're in D minor. Let's record some kind of top line here. Marvin Gaye through auto-tune. Oh, I can't use low latency? Wait. Here we go. And let's do D minor. Yeah, shawty. Yeah, baby. Yeah, auto-tune sounds crazy on a Marvin Gaye vocal. Let's pull this back. Yeah, baby. Let's do flex tune a little bit. Okay, so he would also use a mono type reverb. I'm just going to use FL for now. We're not going to get too complicated. We're going to pull the separation to merged, which is mono. We're going to send our vocal over to this reverb. So now the reverb has a very spring verb type sound to it. Yeah, baby. And then we could also add delay. Fruity delay. Where you at? Fruity delay 3. Now this is not a professional recording because it's very noisy in my computer. We're gonna do this. Yeah, baby. Let's add a little pitch bend to it. We're doing more soul dark. Heavy on the reverb. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, so now let me do my terrible Marvin Gaye impression here. Yeah, baby. Let's record that. I don't even know if I was in key. Hopefully so. Do we have auto tune on? Because I think that was saving me. Yeah, baby. Yeah, there's no way I was singing that. Yeah, baby. I'm pretty sure that was auto tune doing the hard work. We got lucky on that one. Let me think for a second. I need to duplicate the vocals over here on track 4 so that I'm not talking through auto tune the whole time. 4. Let's turn auto tune off. There we go. Let's tuck it down a little bit. Now the drums are the only thing we don't control in this. So I would typically do the drums like something like that. I wouldn't do. It's a little too many kicks. So I might, let me think of a way to do this. We might just be able to slice that out actually. Let's do Shift Alt. I'm not trying to make a whole beat, but I just want that second kick out of there. Okay, so I did Shift, vertical slice, hit Alt to do nudge slice, and then we got rid of that kick. So instead of these second kicks, where it goes doo doo, I'm gonna get rid of that second kick. I think my voice is still going through reverb. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's get rid of that. And Marvin Gaye would do also like another take where it's like a backing, like, oh yeah, 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 something like that. I'll try it, but I don't know. I might hack this up. I was super out of key on that last one. We're gonna what is it called? Manifest Marvin, RIP. Let me duplicate this over. So again, I'm not acting like I'm Jameson over here. Let's do this. So to widen out the track, let's pan one left, one right. Alright, so now we got the drums. Let me do. Alright, let's do this. So now I cut the drums at do 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 do. Uh-oh, we're losing some of my audio. Can y'all hear me? I hear some crackling. My audio buffer is kind of small, so it might crackle and pop. I think I have too many plugins. All right, Curtis Mayfield. That's funny. That's what I meant to say, not Marvin Gaye. I meant to say Curtis Mayfield. I was saying Marvin Gaye the whole time by accident. Let me up this. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I still hear crackling pops though. I think it's the auto-tune. Took my CPU usage up. Now the bass is responding to the old rhythm of the drum. So this is the tricky part. I might redo the bass and then we'll move to the next one. I said we were gonna move to the next one 10 minutes ago, didn't I? But I wanna redo that bass. Oh, I think I found the click. The click's coming from the drums. Pimp Man Strong, it's funny. Let's find the bass real quick. One sound that's not really vibing with this is that synth sound. That's what I mean by going organic or synthetic. That synth, this sound here, it's not really blending in because it's synthetic. All right, so anyway, we're gonna take this sound out. So now I'm just, to know when you're done, sometimes you gotta take stuff out too. And I'll show you guys how to finalize the vibe. We're kind of moving kind of quick, but I would take more time with it. But let's record the bass one more time. Let me just practice a little bit. I don't know how I feel about the bass. I like the original sound. Let's just fit it around it. I'm just gonna keep the bass a little more simple. All right, and then we'll wrap this up and move to the next one. You guys will get the project files for free. So we had to dumb down the bass a little bit on that take. Did it record? Yeah, okay. Now from here, we're gonna move lightning fast. All these audios that are routed to 2, we need to route them separately. So let's highlight in the channel rack, hit Control L. So now everything's going to its individual space in the mixer. Channel in the mixer. Oh man, I moved my audio freak. Gotta route these back to 4 and 5. So 19 and 20 should go to 4 and 5. There we go. So some things I would do, I don't know how much CPU I have before my thing starts blowing up. So the drums, you could add like tape echo on it. It just needs to be shaved down the highs a little bit. To like make this very fast, we're not gonna like sit here and do a whole mixing tutorial. But mixing is also part of melody making. So I'm gonna do a high shelf and then a dynamic EQ. Shave down on those highs a little bit. So here's without, it's very bright. I said, don't be shy, that's funny. So again, the bass could be a lot better. Let's turn these strings down. And now we're just leveling like we're making a beat. We're just trying to figure out what needs to be turned down, what needs to be turned up. Turn down these orchestra hits a little bit. That's definitely auto-tune this one. And now we have that rhythm with the piano, contrasting the drums. So you wouldn't think spring reverb, how do you get your drums? That spring reverb sound. Oh wait, something's routed to track 3. That shouldn't be on 3. Oh no, wait, 1, 2, no, I'm wrong. Here we go. So I want to send some of the drums to the reverb, but they might be a little too heavy. That's what we're adding. It's a little heavy. I'm trying to think of like a vibey plugin. Let me think of one last thing. So here is a technique you guys can use. In the top left, let's go to macros, switch all audio clips to stretch. And then we're gonna go back, macros, and switch all audio clips to resample mode. So now everything's time locked, and now we can change the tempo and it will change the pitch of the song. So if I go up, now that's also gonna mess with my auto tune, so I gotta be careful. Actually, here's what I'll do. Let's undo that real quick. So the only thing I need to worry about is the auto tune on my vocals here. So I'll print these to audio. All right, so let me think for a second. We need to render these two. I'm trying to think, should I do it individually? I guess so, yeah. So let's do, why is this doing that? Okay, let's right click, consolidate from time selection. And we want to make sure enable insert effects is on. So now my auto tune will be baked into the audio. We're gonna cut the remainder and render. We don't want any master effects. We're gonna do this for both audios, both vocals. So here's vocal 1. Let's just rename this real quick. Vocal 1. And let's do the same thing. We're going to render auto tune onto the other vocal, so it's hard coded inside. Oh, is she in here? Oops, my fault. I was not looking at the chat. What are you talking about? Hold on, let me double check. You said, hey, Day, how's it going? Busy doesn't know. Oh, what's up? if she is here. Shout out to my beautiful fiance. My bad. I wasn't reading the chat at all. I was just locking in. But I don't see her name. You might be tripping out. I think you're tripping out, young dog. You tripping out. Any second, I'm just playing. All right, so what we need to do though, I figure, let's go to options. Let's go to, tools, macros. We need to do the same exact thing. Switch all audio clips to stretch mode and then switch it back to resample. So now this applies to the 2 new vocals that we just created. And again, the reason we're doing this is because now I'm gonna send these to a different mixer channel. We're gonna hit Control L, send these to the mixer. So now they have their own mixer channel. So now auto-tune, it doesn't matter, auto-tune. We could literally just turn these off. These aren't doing anything. And anyhow, so now it will pitch change with the rest of the music. So now if I change the tempo, it's like we're pitching up a sample basically. And the drums are the only thing that are not exactly what I would want. Because the rhythm of the drums doesn't perfectly match this vibe. What I'll do to make it match better, it should just repeat. Boom, tip, boom, ta, tip, boom, boom, tip, boom, ta. Let's just repeat it because I don't want the drums to start creating contrast melodies, contrast rhythms. So drums are a rhythm, and that needs to line up with the rhythm that you guys create for your melodies. So that's why I break down beat and melody making into 4 sections: top line, harmony, contrast layer, and rhythm. I would even take out the second hi-hat. Take out the drums though. It's gonna bother me because it's such a minute detail. But usually I would build around drums if I'm gonna make the drums this important. Yeah, we're not even trying to make a beat. That's the crazy part. We're just trying to do melodies. But drums are a key part to this sound though. Okay, I'm just gonna repeat this all the way through. We're not even gonna offset the time. So what I did was I nudged the piano to the right a little bit. Stuff sounds better nudged to the right than played early. It sounds amateur. So that's what we did. We pitched it up. You could also pitch it down so that we could do this. So you guys can mess with the tempo in your project. So I'm gonna save that for you so that you guys can mess with that. So that is the process. Now, when you record real instruments and real audio, it takes time. I can answer your questions though. Yeah, it's somebody probably from Weaver Beats' side of things, I would assume so, because I haven't had people spamming the chat in forever. Let me, I'm gonna play this a couple times. I'm gonna go grab something real quick and I'll play this. I'll be right back, guys. Like a platinum chain. Yeah. My fiance just got in. Had to greet the fam. Oh, looks like okay. FL was like had a circle. So let's start a new session here. Start new. Yeah, you might hear my little boy outside the door. But let's make a Metro Boomin type dark track. That was more organic dark. Now let's make a synthetic dark. So hopefully you guys are starting to get the little nuances that I've been talking about throughout the week about sound selection. So you have organic and you have synthetic. Shout out to everybody who's here. Again, today's more of a demonstration day to show you guys all those techniques I showed you guys from the whole week. Now this is where they combine. So it's all these little tiny things that I've broken down for you guys. And again, if you want to learn more about melodies and music theory, use the code. Sorry, I was trying to save. Okay, so use the code music theory, all one word, at my website for any music theory course. Okay, so let me quickly show you guys on the screen what that would look like real fast. So if you go to my site, if you go to busyworksbeats.com, we have over 60 music production courses. I'm gonna make a Mike Dean track. It's gonna be very synth heavy. Go to where it says all courses, then you guys can narrow it down to music theory courses. So you could use this code on anything. That will give you 50% off. Just use the code music theory for 50% off our music theory courses. So it's everything from Drake melodies to music theory. The foundation's called Essentials. Music Theory Magic is like the next level of that. And then we have Melody Magic. If you guys want to specifically focus on melodies, you have Beat Magic, which is for beat making. So I break it all the way down for you guys, basically. So any of these courses in here, music theory courses, you guys can use the code Music Theory for 50% off. I think it's storming outside, so I might have to. We are going to get as much live streaming in as we can. Okay, so now we're on to the Metro Boomin type dark melody. So this is going to be synthetic sounds. We're going to think brass, synth layers. So let's start off with bells, because we could do a lot with bells. This is why I have so many bells in my plugin called Hercules. For this reason, is because with bells you could do a lot of cool stuff. So let's open up Hercules. This is at herculesplugin.com. herculesplugin.com, or just go to busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. Might be easier to remember. So go to busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. You said when you pick the sounds, can you tell us why you pick one over the other? Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just a feel. There's no like, but I think about sound in high, mids, lows like that. So right now we're using high frequencies because I know we're going to use sound effects that pitch the bells down, and bells are nice and thin. So we could spread the bells, we could do delays, reverbs, and fill out a big part of the sound. But it has to start with a smaller sound like a bell. So here's some kind of textury synthetic bells. Let's start here. Even this sound technically has an octave. So let's pick something a little. Okay, this one's dope. Crystals, it's called. So I'm just playing notes on my keyboard, and this sounds fire. So we are playing D minor, but we're playing it with an inverted first. So let's play that. That sounds fire. Let's record this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just playing my keyboard, my typing keyboard. One, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do like. That one I messed up, but whatever. I was using my typing keyboard. If you didn't know, you could right click here and use your typing keyboard on your computer to actually play notes. So you just click this icon right here, and then you can right click to select keys and all that. So I left mine on basic. You know, where are my notes? FL glitches. Look at this. We recorded notes, but then it's like not there. It's an FL Studio glitch. Okay, here's the notes. We'll do Q&A at the end because last stream I started talking too much doing Q&A and it ruined the experience for some folks. So here I got to be more strategic, y'all. So I will cover questions at the end of the stream today. So here we're going to do a flat fifth and a flat tonic, it's called, for the melody. We covered this when I talked about R&B. So that way we can create an ending. Let's see what this sounds like first. Now this one, I guess it wants to come down a half step. What up? Something's... Got to figure out what we're going to do with this G note here. Now I forgot we're doing an invert. That's why I'm confused. Okay, so we should pull down the... This should be this, and then this should be this. I forgot we inverted the notes. So this is the tonic and this is the fifth. We're flattening those. Probably be better of a harmony at the end, but we'll stick with that. So now we're gonna take this sound, and again, I will answer your questions at the end of the live stream because I want to stay focused, y'all. For people who watch the replays too, they want to make sure that you know, they get value too. But okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna open up some of these melody mangling plugins. I like the Kilohertz bundle. You guys can look it up. It's Kilohertz by, I forget the company name actually. I think it's Kilohertz. But BitCrush is one of my favorite ones here. We're gonna right click and select the sample rate. Let's do 20 kilohertz, which is 20,000, and right click the bits. Let's go to 12 bit and turn up the quality here. So we're lo-fiing the bells basically. And now I want more of a granular type of sound. Let me think of a way we could do this with FL. I think they have a frequency shifter plugin. Let me think. Frequency, or no, let's use their pitch shifter. Okay, so it's called pitch shifter. Now this granulizes the sound with what's called the density knob here. So let's turn this up. So lower density means it's going to chop it up into like spaced out grains, and higher density means that they're going to chop it up but overlap the grains, so it adds a lot of resonance. So right now let's create a choppier sound, and let's pitch this up 12 semitone. What up, AJ? So now I'm blending that granular sound. Now what I would normally do is actually do this in Patcher because I can control the pathways. I'm going to quickly move here because I just don't have time to teach how to use Patcher right now. But what I'm doing is I want to create a parallel chain. So I want the original, oh yeah, it's really storming out there. So if this computer just randomly goes off, just understand the power went off. So we have the original chain, which is going to go to the output, but then I want a duplicate of that sound to go somewhere else. So now we're going to right click. Let's add some plugins in here. I want to go to the granulizer first because this is going to chop up the sound. Let's go to Fruity. No, it's called the pitch shifter, and we're going to send a duplicate. So this is a second duplication of the sound going to this thing, and we're going to set the same settings: low density, high octave, which is 12 semitones. Now from here, we're going to right click and insert a delay plugin so that we hear a delay of some sort. Let's do Fruity Delay 3. Where you at? Fruity Delay 3. So now the sound is again going from the plugin to FL Studio. So we have one path being untouched, and then we have another path going through the granulizer, and then it's going through delay. So I want the delay half dry and half wet, so that way we hear two signals. So now we created three signals technically. Let's do ping pong delay, and then I want the sound to go through the kilohertz BitCrush sound, which is just going to lower the sample rate. So we're going to right click, make this 20, 1, 2, 3, and then right click the bits 12, and then turn the quality up. And now we want that output to go out. So now we hear two signals. We can even create another layer, which is a gross beat layer. So let's try that. Where's our gross beat? Here's a gross beat. So now we're going to send this as a third layer to gross beat.